What is up, fellow summoners? Welcome to the channel today. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Monday to you. Coming at you at the beginning part of this week with an Alliance War that I recorded over the weekend. This was tail end of Saturday through Sunday, going up against disadvantaged villains, which they're just within a couple points of us as far as war rating. What are they with 6 points lower than us? But they're actually over 1 million points lower than us in their overall Alliance rating, which typically means if you're going up against somebody with a team that's that much lower than you, they're either big spenders or they're pretty skilled. So either way, it's going to be a hard time, and it's a pretty good war we recorded here. I've had pretty good luck last couple of Alliance Wars that I've run with this particular team of Winter Soldier, Vision, and Wolverine. I feel like it's a good combination of regen and power control. But right off the bat, you can see here, this node just to my right here, which I believe is a strike back node, has nobody on it, and that's a big no-no. You should never give anybody a free pass, especially really early on in the game. You know, I don't care if it's a Luke Cage or an Iron Patriot. Just throw somebody on there. Leave one of the other nodes in the corner further away open if you have to, but make sure you put somebody on there. Because as you can see, this is the bleed node, so I do take in vision, and this should not be a difficult fight at all. But I make a couple of mistakes, and you never know. That can always happen. So you know, never, as best you can, never leave a node open at the very beginning. At the very least, it's going to slow somebody down. It's going to cause a few mistakes. But yeah, I don't know what was going on with that S1. I thought that I was evading back at the same time that he was using it, but he still managed to catch me. And then again, right there, the timing is just parry. And then I follow that up. I'm tapping the screen to do a light attack, and he does a heavy. So I don't know, the game was running kind of funky there. I don't know if my connection was messed up, but yeah, unfortunately the fight is not difficult, but it does cost me over half of my health with a few mistakes that I made there. So not a great start to the fight. I didn't lose him, thankfully, but yeah, it was not a difficult fight at all. Shouldn't have lost that much health, but anyway, got to jump out, come back in, I don't know, maybe an hour later or something like that, waiting for that middle node to come down, and by the time I got back in, my Alliance members had pretty much finished the entire middle path, so everything is open to me at this point. So I jump over. This particular node here, I don't find any consistency with it. Sometimes it's Juggernaut. I've seen Black Panther here. I've seen Mordo, but this time around it's actually an Ant-Man, which I would steer clear of Ant-Man. If I can give any advice to you, he's just not that difficult of a character to play against. In this case especially because I've got bleeds that are building up. Even though I'm not critting a whole lot, the few crits that I am getting here and there are causing bleeds. And he doesn't do any damage you know, that you can't play around. His specials are easy to bait out and avoid. He has nothing inherently difficult to play around. So I've sped up this fight. I mean, I realize the purpose of it is because of his glancing ability. Maybe try to time out people. But for the most part, especially in the higher tiers, I would not stick an Ant-Man on such an important node here right in the middle of the beginning path. Stick him out on the outside corners if you have to use him. But yeah, here for the beginning, it's not a difficult fight. Sped it up just because it was taking so long. But really, I think he dies here. What is it? 80. So 83 hits, really not difficult at all. Still had about a minute and a half left there. Didn't take any damage. Poor Ant-Man, he needs a refresh, man. Doesn't really do much of anything these days. So not a great placement. I understand the concept, but he's just not nearly as useful as he used to be. All right, on over to the Unblockable S2, and this can be all kinds of different characters. I do go ahead, I boost up my vision because I don't want to lose him here. I want to take in vision to be able to control the fight. Once I get through and evade one of the S2s, then I'll have enough control to kind of, you know, not worry about getting to another one from that point. So it is another, for the second time in a row, Hood. I think the last Alliance War that I recorded was also Hood. But here you can see, evade the first shot, and then the rest of them you just block, which it's not difficult to do. You just need to go and practice. He can be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? He can be a little bit intimidating if you're not familiar with the flow of it, but just focus on evading that very first bullet and then just stand there and hold block and you'll be fine. Also, when he is in his cooldown here after his invisibility, do remember that you cannot stun him. So I play a little bit defensively, just trying to kind of bait out that S1. But really, from this point on, this is where vision kind of shines. At no point in this fight am I really ever concerned or worried about him getting to another S2, which I know that the animation with him being invisible is still messed up, and that really does bother me. I could see a scenario where somebody forgot when he really is in invisibility mode, trying to stun him, assuming they're going to stun and they can't. So I really wish that they would fix this. This is twice in a row, the last 2 Alliance Wars, that I pointed this out. This has happened to me, and it's a really annoying bug. I wish they'd fix it. With this particular character, I do go ahead, I push him into an S3. I don't know. It only did like 1700 damage. I guess I probably should just go ahead and stick to the S1 and S2. I was trying to do my best to just bait out the S1 to give an opportunity to go in and to attack, but really the fight would have been over quicker if I would have just spammed the S1 or the S2 to get that extra damage. So really the only thing you got here is just to remember, if you are baiting out that S1, that animation reaches out really, really far. I think there was only one point in the fight, and I didn't point it out, where the double evade bug kind of got me. I waited too long, tried to dash back and dash back again. Thankfully, I was able to block. Took a little bit of block damage, but yeah, overall, not a difficult fight. I think for higher tiers, Hood is probably not the best option there. Lower tiers, he's going to be awesome, but definitely just practice some of the timing evading that first bullet. Here, I jump out for what felt like just a few minutes, come back in. My Alliance member has jumped up to the stun immune path, and the Thorns node cleared both of those. So I go ahead and I jump over to the bleed path. So this again, he's what, three out of 4 fights I've used Vision for. He's just, he's such a good character. I really love playing with him. And here we run into a Yellowjacket, and this is another good opportunity to show the control of Vision. You'll notice here I don't push him into an S1. I want to make sure that my combo, I finish it when I have my S1 available. So there's a couple times here you'll see when I'm pushing him really, really close. I could finish a combo with another hit, but I don't. You know, I kind of pull back and make sure that when I do finish my combo, I'll have a special. The reason for that is not that evading Yellowjacket's S1 is too difficult. It's not even unblockable or anything like that, but kind of the thought behind that is if I don't ever have to try to evade an S1, or I don't have to take block damage from it, you know, that's just, it's easier for me. There won't be any mistakes made trying to evade if I don't have to ever evade an S1. So that's what I do here. It's fairly unimpressive fight, I guess you could say. Again, Vision just pretty much locks down the character, controls the character. There's really nothing they can do about it as long as you are parry stunning them correctly. Over time, you'll see I finally get to my S2. The S2 does quite a bit more damage than the S1 in comparison, but again, really the S1 and S2 are just there for control. They don't do a whole lot of damage. So, I mean, I shouldn't say that. That medium attack crit for 1800, which isn't terrible, but yeah, get the intercept right there, finish him off, and make quick work of the bleed node. So that was, yeah, 3 of 4 with Vision. So at this point, I know I'm going to go straight up. This node right here can be a bit of a pain. I typically fight Magic and Hyperion now on this node. I was seeing Mordo for a little while on here. I feel like Mordo's not being quite used as much here anymore, with more people getting Hyperion. I don't know if that's because now he's in a crystal, more people are getting him, so we're seeing more of him pop up. But yeah, this dude, I absolutely hate this guy. And there's one mistake I make by not using S1 that I think ends up screwing me over. But you can see I'm 5 hits into the fight, and he is already nearly to an S3. And thankfully, I mean, last second right there, I do bait it out. But the problem is, and you see I do get a back-to-back power burn right there. And right here, I should have used my S1. Was not paying attention. That really came back to bite me. But it's just within a couple hits. If you don't get a power drain from Winter Soldier, you can see, what is that? A 5-hit combo pushed him all the way through a special bar of power. And you have to try your best to leave your block down as often as you can to try to bait out that special. And it just leaves you so vulnerable for hits like that. Sometimes I feel like he's really easy to bait out specials, and sometimes I can't get him to use one for the life of me. I don't really find any rhyme or reason to it. It's just like, I don't know. If you've got an answer for that, I would love to hear it. But yeah, pretty much for the rest of this fight, I'm pretty much screwed. I can't get him bait out of anything. I think I push him all the way into an S3 here pretty quick. trying to be very aggressive. Thankfully, I do get a power drain right there on the 5th hit. Was very lucky, but I get another S1 off right there. Was hoping that one of those was going to crit, did not, and that really is where the missed S1 came back to bite me. I feel like I would have used that S1 before. Between the damage and the bleed, it probably would have finished him off. But yeah, I lived through one of the S3s, but you're not going to live through 2 of them. So unfortunately, he takes out my full life rank 4 5-star Winter Soldier. Which, if that was not a 5-star, I could not have eaten 2 of those, or really all the damage that I did take. So thankfully, I was able to get him pretty far down before I had to run in there with my Wolverine. And then he's not a bleed immune champ, so thankfully I do crit a couple times right here. Bleeds are working for me, and the fight's over. Which again, I was only, less than 10 hits into the fight, and he was at an S3 basically. So you really have got to have some form of a power control champ. Winter Soldier's kind of hit or miss for me with him as far as his power drains go. If I could have got to an S2, would have finished him off, but that's just the name of the game. If you're going to go in with somebody who has an inconsistent power drain, it's going to be 50-50 whether or not you take him down. So from that point on, I had to step away from the computer. Wasn't able to record any other fights, which basically just came down to an exploration battle. As you see, we did win. We had quite a bit more exploration than they did. Neither team brought down a boss. We didn't need to. Weren't about to spend any of our potions trying to get him down. But yeah, so that's another win for us. We were still up in tier 1, so I will gladly take those rewards. That gives me enough 4-star shards to do a double opening later today. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Wasn't the most exciting fights. I was really hoping to do the Stun Immune and Thorns node, but it is what it is. I will record what I can. I know you guys have been asking for it, so I will try to put more and more of these up, again, as best as I can. Alright guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something possibly. If not, I hope it was entertaining to you. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.